In the model that I developed for our outreach ministry in this church, which is the spiritual problem resolution part of this ministry and what other churches might refer to as deliverance ministry or exorcism ministry, we prefer the term spiritual problem resolution because it's far more accurate. It gets rid of some of that mystical taboo that's associated with this work. And if you've made it this far in this video series, you know my approach to this is much more rational and down to earth than all of that ethereal nonsense that really isn't really helpful to a client who's suffering from this particular type of problem. So, the first one in this model, and there's four that we categorize in terms of isolating demonic activity, is in some ways the easiest to introduce and the hardest to explain. But let's try and see where we can go with this. The first one is the fallen angels. Now, everyone has some reference for this because they're dealt with a lot in pop culture. You see this in movies. Almost everyone has read at least part of the Bible, and we know about the devil. And if you've studied any occultism, you know that there's orders of demons that can be conjured and evoked through occult means. This is all part of that category. Now, my approach to this is from an esoteric vantage point. I'm not taking a theological approach with this any more than I'm taking a pure scientific. I think there needs to be a blend of the two, and the esoteric does a good job of handling that, satisfying that condition. So what are these angels? What are these fallen angels? Now, theology says that, there was a war in heaven and, some of them rebelled against God. Satan was the leader, Lucifer, whatever. And then you have, of course, other aspects of this that suggest that the demons were upset, or these angels were upset that God was favoring man, so they got jealous. And that's just, again, a metaphor for trying to explain something that's very ineffable and beyond us at a level of the macrocosmos that we can't connect to. Okay, we already know that's the unknowable part of the universe. So what are these fallen angels? Well, you have, of course, all these sophisticated energy patterns emanating out from the macrocosmos, but they have to be filtered through our limited human experience, okay? What happens when you have some of these forces that are in charge of the reabsorption principle being filtered through the ego of man? What does that happen? Well, you get to Yetzer Hara. We talked about that in very early episodes, and that manifests a very sophisticated condition that we would experience at the conventional level as an emanation of evil. More later.